Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Fitness Friday Positive Tips with Rachelle, folks, where Fitness Friday is always the best day of the week. Gotta love it. And folks, now I know you've been wondering, where is Rachelle? We are seeing all of these filler episodes. What happened? Where is she? Folks, I am back in Michigan, back in business. Been back now for a couple of weeks and wanted to certainly let you all know my holiday hiatus was unexpectedly extended. I actually have an uncle there in Louisiana who unfortunately his colon cancer has returned and it's now stage 4. So we're kind of working through that. So he's going to make it. He's a fighter. He's committed to fight, but he is going to make it. So I had to drop in some extra episodes that I hadn't planned on, but I am back in business. It is Mardi Gras season. Of course, I'm in Michigan, but still, I carry the Mardi Gras Louisiana flavor with me wherever I go. And so the last videos where you saw my face, you actually saw a couple of episodes where I was actually talking about fitness on the road. I was actually in Mississippi visiting my sister, so spent some time during the holidays in Mississippi and Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana, as well as Baton Rouge. So had a wonderful time. And I just had to show you my sign, which is going to be hung downstairs in the lower level section of Rachelle's Home Fitness Center. Mardi Gras, Mardi Gras. And if you're wondering where I got it, you may not know the location, but chances are you know the store. Dollar Tree. Not in Louisiana, surprisingly. And I went to a few locations, but actually the Dollar Tree in my childhood, one of my childhood homes, Biloxi, Mississippi. And so was so happy to see this. Got a few to give away, certainly here during Mardi Gras season here locally. But just had to kick off this episode recognizing very, very important part of the year in Louisiana and southern Mississippi, folks. Want to talk about this episode, and let me tell you, folks. So sometimes, you don't realize when I have certain themes, and the theme of this episode is adversity, dealing with and overcoming adversity. Kick off this certainly we're well into the new year, but just recognizing the pandemic has certainly unleashed a level of adversity, on us personally and professionally, and just particularly in the fitness industry. It's been a very, very challenging time, and I'll highlight an article that talks about that specifically. But adversity, and so yes, adversity, overcoming adversity is one of my trademarks. Yes, rah, 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 that's great. But you don't recognize that when I do episodes on dealing with adversity and overcoming adversity, rest assured, I myself get tested. Wednesday of this week was my day, and I had a bad day, and it kind of shook me up too that night. I was like, you know what, I don't have bad days, but it was just one thing after another. But anyway, wanted to highlight that before I talk about and give you some examples of adversity and how entities within the fitness industry have overcoming adversity. I'm going to close this episode out by highlighting it's something I talked about in 2020, so I just can't wait. I wanted to kick off with it, but I know that it's going to shake people up, and so I don't want to kind of kill the mood, kill the spirit of the episode when it gets started. So adversity. And while many entities in the fitness industry have had certainly an unparalleled level of adversity, particularly that has resulted from the pandemic, Peloton, Peloton is an entity that I'm studying from a deep dive perspective. A lot of research that I've done, and just following. That's just one of the companies I'm following closely, and it's just been a roller coaster ride for that company. In 2020, highlighted them a few times that they were quote unquote one of the darlings of the fitness industry and just how well they were doing. And then 2021. And they just had a lot of adversity and continue to face a lot of adversity. And so I just want to highlight, I don't have time to highlight all of the articles, but I'm going to highlight some things, actually the 3 different articles that essentially talk about and highlight some of the challenges that they have faced. And these are very, very recent articles, and I'm telling you on a week-to-week basis, it's just constant, it's very fluid and constantly changing. Athletic Business on February 8th, Tabitha Weathal's article entitled Peloton Cuts Thousands of Jobs, Replaces CEO. Next, Club Industry, Peloton Pre-core leadership changes. 2,800 jobs cut. Pamela Kufal highlighted that, like I said, in club industry on February 8th. And lastly, my disclaimer, this is not investment advice. Peloton cuts full year revenue outlook. Club industry staff highlighted that in an article on February 8th as well. So very, very challenging time for Peloton, and continues to remain so, but certainly had to kick off this episode by highlighting 1 year they were on cloud nine, and the next year, certainly 2021 and 2022, just constant adversity. But they continue to remain fighting and moving forward in terms of what they have to do. Next, athletic business, another example of adversity. Remember the tornadoes that hit Kentucky back in December. And so I want to highlight an article entitled CrossFit Gym Destroyed by Kentucky Tornado to Rebuild. And so on December 17th, 2021, let me just read some of it in the interest of time. Thankfully, no one was inside the Red Eagle CrossFit in Mayfield, Kentucky when a deadly tornado ripped through Kentucky and 5 other states December 10th and into the early morning hours of December 11th. No one was injured in the building, but the facility was destroyed just a few hours after the owner and members had an event inside. We worked out, and then we ate and celebrated, and I said to my assistant coach, we need to have everyone out by 7 because we knew a storm was coming. Red Eagle CrossFit's owner, Leah Klumper, said. The morningchalkup.com reported. We definitely would not have made it out had we been there when the tornado hit because it just sucked everything right out. Klumper, who left the gym at 7 p.m. and drove to her mother's home about 12 miles, and there's in parentheses 20 kilometers with her husband to avoid the tornado. At 10:45 p.m., after the storm had passed through Mayfield, Klumper drove back to the gym. This here, next page. I didn't want to believe it. It's just one of those things you don't understand it until you actually see it. She said it was evident that not much could be salvaged. The rowing machines were bent and missing pieces. The rig was leaning sideways, and even the wall ball targets were bent. It looked like everything had been picked up, spun around, and slammed around, Klumper said. We were able to find a few things, but we're not sure if they're safe for people to use. There were still 4 assault bikes in the gym, and it's not funny, but we joked that, of course, the assault bikes made it. Klumper said she intends to rebuild, and she isn't sure what that will look like, though she plans to build her own structure to coincide with her future physical therapist practice. I saw it last night, and I didn't want to believe it. The whole town is hurting, Klumper posted on social media Saturday. I know the gym is just a small part, but it's a big part of me, and it's a devastating loss. So thankful no one was in the building. I don't even have the words to express how sad I am. Klumper said she has received support from the larger CrossFit community since losing her business and livelihood. And so, just going to read one last sentence here. Other Kentucky gyms have also offered support as well, including CrossFit Murray, which offered for Klumper's members to train there for the time being. So folks, a challenging time, adversity. You know, this is something, adversity is equal opportunity. And so while the pandemic, yes, many have been impacted in various aspects, but adversity on a day-to-day basis, particularly certainly in the fitness industry, is no exception, happens. Here's another example. And the important point is for us to remain resilient and to keep on keeping on, stay committed to the purpose, the mission, and strive to overcome any adversity that we face. And so you see I printed these out, and I printed them actually a while ago, and so I hate printing. That's why I always typically read from my iPad, but I printed these out so I wouldn't forget to highlight these since it's been a while. Health Department intervenes after gym invaded by bats. Andy Berg highlighted this in Athletic Business. Officials in Florida's Collier County are hoping to hear from anyone who might have come in contact with a family of bats that were recently removed from a fitness center. The Collier County Department of Health wants to ensure that no one who came in contact with the bats at Naples Family Fitness has been infected with rabies or any other diseases. They had a whole family. There's probably 8 to 10 of them at once flying around. Yeah, felt like I was at the zoo. Dane Odegaard, who came in contact with bats, told Wink. R.J. Paquette, a personal trainer at the facility, said the bats didn't stop anyone from working out. Collier County Health just wants to be on the safe side. If you have handled the bat or potentially been bitten or scratched by a bat, you need to contact the health department right away, said Christine Hollingsworth with the Collier County Health Department. The health department said it will help anyone who thinks they might have had contact with the bats. Adversity. Everything from the pandemic to a tornado leveling a CrossFit facility to bats invading a facility in Collier County. And now I want to highlight club industry. And many of us have heard these statistics. Certainly during last year was heard it a few times, but club industry solidified some of these industries in terms of the coronavirus's impact on the industry, solidified this in an article entitled 25% of U.S. health clubs permanently closed since start of COVID-19 pandemic per IHRSA. This is by club industry staff. It was posted or published on January 31st, 2022. Going to read it. 25% of U.S. health clubs and 30% of studios have permanently closed since March 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic began, according to research from IHRSA. In addition, more than 1.5 million jobs in the industry have been lost in the country. The data was collected from third-party payment processing companies that cover about 95% of the U.S. club and studio market. Closures will likely continue until the second quarter due to the Omicron variant of COVID-19, stunting the usual January influx of new members for many health clubs, according to IHRSA. IHRSA President and CEO Liz Clark said Congress must act now to save America's community gyms and studios. With each wave of the pandemic, the small business owners in our industry keep getting knocked down. And because of past failures by Congress, each time fewer of them get back up. We can't wait anymore, especially with the rise of additional COVID variants. IHRSA is seeking relief for the U.S. fitness industry through the GYMS, parentheses, Gym Mitigation and Survival Act, which is House Bill 890 and Senate Bill 1613. The bill would provide federal grants to clubs and studios that were forced to temporarily close due to COVID-19 restrictions. IHRSA, which is the Trade Association for Commercial Clubs and Studios, has a one-click campaign, and it's a clickable link. For that one-click campaign, it's a clickable link to urge more members of Congress to sign onto the bill. Wanted to highlight that. It's got some solid numbers there. Also, they're encouraging some advocacy. I take a neutral position here on Fitness Friday. Don't get involved in politics here on Fitness Friday or go one way or the other, but just always strive to provide you information that you may find beneficial. So I wanted to highlight that. And finally, want to highlight an article I saw in club industry, beginning of January. It's actually still in Louisiana, and I read this and I said, here it is. My prediction, it's happening. So let's rewind for those folks perhaps who haven't watched me for very long, but certainly haven't watched me since the pandemic in 2020, when I talked about certainly the challenges that it faced the fitness industry, certainly continue to face the fitness industry, particularly during that year, how there was quite a substantial amount of litigation that impacted the fitness industry around, and certainly not just the fitness industry, everything from airlines to cruise ships, the force majeure clause. Not an attorney, certainly. I'm not qualified to provide legal advice, but I've certainly been mentored by attorneys and certainly thoroughly understand the concept of legal exposure. We'll talk about that in future episodes here during this a few weeks from now. But want to highlight just some of the challenges the fitness industry, and I've talked about this, feels like ad nauseum, several times over the years, and just how the concept and just this whole problem of cancellations have dogged the fitness industry for decades now. And because of the pandemic, and we had number of facilities across the country, certainly across the world actually. And that force majeure clause was relevant in that case due to the pandemic. And so you have facilities, even though they were closed, were continually billing members. And so litigation, class action lawsuits filed many different states. Some of the larger players face class action lawsuits about that. And certainly the fitness industry, apart from the pandemic, before the pandemic, has faced challenges around this whole cancellation process, for decades, as I said. And one thing that I alluded to back in 2020 when I was highlighting some examples of some of the class action lawsuits and the major players that were highlighted that were impacted by that litigation was this whole concept of cancellation and recognizing that as a society, what we have and what I'm terming for the purposes of this discussion, and certainly similar discussions that I have outside of Fitness Friday, is the Amazonification of society. From the standpoint, if someone is an Amazon Prime member, at the click of a button, you can cancel that membership. Easy, 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 easy. And so with that type of setup and that type of concept and the ease of cancellation, what you have is, from a consumer behavior standpoint, consumers saying, hold on, I want to be able to cancel whether it's a newspaper subscription, some type of online subscription, or a subscription or a service they may have on their phone. I want this easy one-click cancellation, boom, and to be done with it. And certainly some of the big challenges in the fitness industry where people cancel and they, months later and sometimes years later, they continue to be billed, and it's just something that it has dogged and continues to dog the industry. And I didn't realize how much of a problem this was until I did some research, some perception research on the fitness industry from 2017 to 2019, and evaluated literally thousands over the course of those 2 years, thousands of online reviews of studios, gyms, all types, community, corporate, franchises, privately owned. And that's one thing where you don't have to, there's, irrespective of geography, facility type, you see this concept of billing. They won't stop billing. It's hard to cancel. I can't cancel. When I try to cancel, I have to cancel with a manager, and when I come in to cancel, the manager hides. And these repetitive themes, irrespective of year, irrespective of geographical location, irrespective of facility type, brand, modality, you see the same themes occurring. And so the pandemic really has shown, in 2020 it was a really big spotlight. It's one of the industries that was just huge spotlights shining on it. Continues to be so because, again, people just feel like, I want to be able to cancel, I want to be done, I've done everything that I was supposed to do, and it hasn't happened. And so I said, it's going to come to a head. It's going to come to a head. And it's something that you heard me say last October, in fact, on this episode is, I said, when predicted, within 5 years, you're going to have the majority of fitness facilities being contract only. No contract. All right, and there's a very accelerated shift in that direction of facilities of all types going to no contract, just month to month. All right, and certainly that type of concept helps to prevent this problem of, hopefully could potentially make it easier to cancel, but the verdict is still out. And unfortunately, even facilities that have that type of month-to-month no contract option still face complaints of not canceling membership. So from a standpoint of litigation, there's been a lot going on in the fitness industry for a long time, but certainly heightened during the pandemic. And so I stated back in 2020, fitness facilities are going to have to eventually, is going to come to a head where it needs to be easy to cancel. At the click of a button, bam. And I said that will really help to stem and turn the tide in the fitness industry and have more positive perceptions and more positive member experiences. And so it's just the complaints that dog the industry. And I personally have had people tell me gym memberships are a scam. And that is just so unfortunate. You know, fortunately, in my years of gym memberships, I've never, just haven't had any issues, no problems. It's just been very fortunate in that regard. But what I want to highlight here, you know, I'm always talking about the SWOT analysis. And you know you missed it while I was gone, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So when a player that can really leverage the Amazonification, as I call it, of society from a cancellation standpoint, is going to have a very big advantage. Not just internal advantage, but certainly a strategic advantage in the markets in which they operate. Is that going to be highly disruptive in terms of operations and memberships? Absolutely. I'm not denying that. But I'm just saying, my role here is to tell you the truth. I've got to tell you the cold, hard truth. You know, there's got to be a way. And what we have here, and I'm highlighting, and I didn't want to kick off this episode by highlighting this. What we have here is I'm highlighting club industry, and I saw this and I said, here it is. Bam! I predicted it. I knew it was coming. I didn't know when. I didn't know who, but here it is. It's happening. European chain is the title of this article. European chain Pure Gym launches first club in United States. And this was on January 6th. And club industry, again, just to remind you in case you want to look this up. Going to read it all in its entirety. Pure Gym Group, a European fitness and gym operator, is opening its first gym in the United States under a new brand, Pure Fitness, the company announced on January 6th. The first location, which is a 15,000 square foot facility in Tysons Corner, Virginia, opened on January 6th. A 22,000 square foot club will open January 13th in Oak Ridge, Maryland, and a 27,000 square foot location will open January 27th in Springfield, Virginia, with additional sites planned across the United States, possibly organically as well as through franchising, the company said. We are excited to be entering the U.S. fitness market where we believe our model, no contract, high quality and affordable fitness, is not well represented, Humphrey Cobbold, CEO of Pure Gym Group, said in a media release. No other operator provides the same unique offer of a boutique gym experience at a budget gym price. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, more people than ever are focused on their health and are looking for greater flexibility and value, which presents a huge opportunity for us to welcome both gym goers and beginners to Pure Fitness. All right. It was founded in 2019 in the United Kingdom. Pure Gym Group offers low-price gym memberships with no contractual commitment. It has 500 clubs in the United Kingdom. It has 40 sites in Switzerland, 180 sites in Denmark, and 1 location in Saudi Arabia, with more planned through franchising. In January 2020, the company acquired Fitness World, which had clubs in Denmark, and owned BaseFit in Switzerland. The group is majority owned by Leonard Green and Partners LP. In December 2021, Pure Gym raised £300 million equity investment from KKR to fund international expansion, was an increasingly important part of the company's strategy. The new brand, here it is. Here it is, folks. That's why it's important to do situational analyses. Harp on this SWOT analysis, situational analyses. Here it is, the most important part of this article. While it's all important, and you certainly welcome Pure Fitness here to the U.S., the new brand will disrupt the U.S. market in several ways, according to the announcement. Pure Fitness offers memberships that start at $9.99 per month without any contractual commitment. Let me digress and say many other players offers the same. Members, here it is, folks. Here it is. Members can freeze, leave, and rejoin whenever they want in a matter of minutes through the Pure Fitness app. Through its app, members can choose the best time to visit the gym. Yes, other entities certainly provide the same, provide contactless entry with a QR scanner, and access a library of more than 400 on-demand workouts. Each Pure Fitness gym will have more than 150 pieces of cardio and strength equipment, a turf training freestyle area, and more than 80 digital and instructor-led classes per week. Here we go. Let me go back to it again. The most important part of what I am reading to you now is members can freeze, leave, and rejoin whenever they want in a matter of minutes through the Pure Fitness app. So what is Pure Fitness offering now? And what their other locations have offered in Europe? The ability to cancel memberships with a click of a button. Bam! It's happening. I predicted it. I didn't know when. I didn't know who. But here it is. Here it is. We see locations in Virginia, in Maryland, and they are planning on, having other locations across the United States. Like they said, potentially organically or through franchising. It is here. The ability to cancel gym memberships at the click of a button. Bam. And when I saw that, I said, okay, here's an entity that I need to follow closely, because again, just from a research standpoint, I'm big on this kind of stuff anyway, inside and outside of the fitness industry, but particularly with industry disruptors. All right, and what we truly are going to have is some disruption in the United States, because when you have entities like that come into a market, that puts pressures on other entities, fitness entities within that same market, or any industry, quite frankly. So in terms of doing my research and staying very attuned to what is happening here with this Pure Fitness and their launch in the U.S. and their growth and expansion in the U.S. over the next several years, I subscribe to their newsletter. Yep, subscribe to their newsletter. And that's what you got to do, folks. In terms of doing industry research, market research, competitive analysis, which you hear me talk about all the time, it's these type of things. You can follow competitors closely. I don't own a facility, but certainly from my role and my standpoint, I like to be well-versed. And just this is something, I'm always very interested in disruptive business models. And so here it is. So sign up for their email communications and newsletters. And so January 28, 2022 at 1:14, it says, welcome to the Pure Fitness community. Of course, I was born in Virginia. I'm a Navy baby, but certainly have no current connections or ties. But it's very, very insightful. And I'm going to close this episode out by reading this. All right, welcome to the Pure Fitness community. Hi, Rachelle. Thanks for joining Pure Fitness. Full disclosure, I did not sign up. I'm not a member, but again, from I'm sure a club, they just want to welcome people, want people to feel like they belong. They don't know where I live. All they have is my name and my email, so they eventually want me to join. So they're certainly trying to tie in from a marketing standpoint and going to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, tying into that concept of needing to belong. Needing to belong. That's exactly where they're going here with that. Welcome to the community. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm not a member, but I'm sure by opting in, they think you're joining the community. All right, so from a marketing standpoint, you have to highlight that. We're excited to have you on board. You'll be the first to know about opening dates, offers, and so much more. Stay tuned. Enjoy zero commitment, 24/7 contactless gym access combined with online join and cancel at the click of a button. What could be simpler? If you feel nervous about joining a new gym, don't worry. Our induction sessions are there to guide you. If you change your mind, you can cancel at any time, completely free of charge. Powerful, and yes, highly disruptive. Every membership includes digital classes. If you become a Plus member, you will have access to weekly instructor-led classes. Can't wait to see what our gyms look like. Take a 360-degree tour of our Tyson's Corner gym, and there's a clickable link on 360-degree tour. We look forward to seeing you soon, Rachelle, and you see the orange button that says Join Now. And so they have, plenty of pictures of stock photos of what their facilities. I know you can't see it, but you can see exactly what their facilities look like. And so they encourage you to download the app. And so they've got some what you need to know, 7 points here. And so I'm not going to highlight those, but want to highlight, something I did the online, the 360-degree tour. Again, I study these type of things, from a competitive analysis standpoint. It is very, very important. What are your competitors doing? And I'm highlighting this again to talk about some of the things that I do and others do that value competitive analysis. What is different? What is a unique selling proposition? What makes a facility different? What competitive advantages do they have? Certainly the cancellation free of charge at the click of a button, bam. All right, they've got it, that unique selling proposition. But on their bathroom sign, and it was just very interesting. We've got 9 points here. So at the very bottom of the sign it says everybody welcome. So much like the Planet Fitness positioning of judgment-free zone, you belong, bam. So we have similar positioning from that standpoint. On the left side, going up and down, is Pure Fitness members, and they have a list. All right, we share workout stations. So it's essentially an etiquette list. We share workout stations. Number 2, we leave equipment clean and tidy. Number 3, we keep our shoes and shirts on. Number 4, we take selfies as long as it is in shot. Number 5, we keep our PIN number secret. Number 6, we stay smoke and drug and alcohol free. Number 7, we share concerns with the team. Number 8, we ask for help with unfamiliar equipment. Number 9, but most importantly, we're nice to each other. And so, and just to digress, with all due respect to this organization, this Pure Fitness, when I read that word "nice to each other," I'm probably not the nicest person in the gym in terms of friendliness and willingness to chat. So I said, see, I'm already disqualified. Just from number 9 alone. It's like, yeah, I don't like to be interrupted, and I'm known to shut people down for doing so. So it just that cracked me up. But here we go. A etiquette list, things that they like to see, and what they're encouraging. But I just had to highlight that. Didn't want to kick this episode out here. Kick this episode off, pardon me, but by highlighting that because I knew some of you are shaking up right now, thinking, and I predicted it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Because like I said, again, Amazon, that Amazonification of society, where you have the cancellation with ease at the click of a button, bam, no questions asked, no drama. Other industries are also kind of following that same model, making it easier to cancel. And the fitness industry has struggled, done nothing but struggled in this arena for decades. And so a player to come in like this and say, hey, we realize that an overarching, again, the SWOT analysis, yes, can be internal and external, but the SWOT analysis can be performed certainly at a more higher, more macro level of the industry. You talk about a situational analysis. One of the weaknesses of the fitness industry is overall, certainly there's thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of examples of exceptions to this, but the cancellation process and procedures, very big weakness in the fitness industry. And so they've come on, they've come on board, and certainly open location here in the United States to say, hey, wait, we've got a USP or a unique selling proposition from a marketing and advertising standpoint that we can really capitalize and leverage. And right here in the midst, and the opportunity, you think about, again, the SWOT analysis, and the opportunity is launching in the midst of a pandemic where you offer members or potential members who may be prospecting the opportunity to cancel at the click of a button if they don't feel comfortable, if the Omicron variant numbers have them uncomfortable. I can freeze my membership, or I can cancel and then join back in a few months when I feel more comfortable, a prospective member or a current member of Pure Fitness may say. So very, very important to evaluate what's going on in the market. Just read as much as you can and just be able to see these trends and these disruptive entities coming when it happens. And that's part of why I love what I do here on Fitness Friday, because I know you're busy, you have a lot of things on your plate. And so in the midst of a lot of the research that I do, the deep dives, industry analysis inside and outside the fitness industry, like to share that with you, because I want to empower you to make wise decisions, to do what is right for you. All right, but don't, again, I'm always, from a confidence standpoint, I'm always telling you to stand in your truth. If you have contracts, just don't all of a sudden panic and say, oh gosh, I gotta make it, I gotta have cancellations at the click of a button. No, you need to do some strategic planning. How are we gonna handle this? What can we do from a cancellation standpoint? How can we streamline this process? How can we make it more member friendly so there's no drama, so there's no online negative reviews? Because folks, when that kind of stuff happens, a lot of people are very willing to tell their experiences to state attorney generals who, particularly during this pandemic, have really shown a light on gyms and some of these cancellation processes and problems that have plagued the industry. Better Business Bureau people complain. Certainly online, Google reviews, Yelp reviews, and just bad word of mouth with people telling one another. And so folks, here it is. Here it is. It's just some very, very deep, relevant food for thought. It's here. It's here, and it's going to be spreading to other parts. This chain is going to be opening different locations and putting competitive pressures on other markets in which it's going to be operating. Right now, yes, it's Virginia and Maryland, but it's going to grow and expand, and I'm going to be following this entity very closely, very, very closely, just to see the impact, the disruptions, and the impact on the industry. And certainly that's going to put, that puts a lot of pressure from an operations standpoint when members, and that's one thing I said back in 2020, when members can cancel at the click of a button, what that does. Customer service is certainly one of my training areas. That elevates the customer service experience when that happens. When people know that, hey, people can cancel anytime they want, things are done very differently. There's a whole different level of the way things are done. And that's true not only, of course, in the fitness industry and things like that, but that's true just in life in general. Let me step on some toes. Yeah, I take a holistic approach here on Fitness Friday. I love people and I want to help people in each and every aspect of their life, but relationally speaking, right? If you know that somebody has the confidence to say, hey, you know what, this isn't working for me, versus, oh, well, this person is just going to put up with whatever I do or say. Somebody that's not going to take any nonsense versus someone that an individual may feel will, very different. But my philosophy is, and this is certainly a way that I operate professionally as well as personally, I'm very big on just not taking people for granted, right? Not taking people for granted, treating people, am I perfect? No, but just trying to strive to treat people right. Be honest in your dealings, right? Don't create drama, don't create problems and strife. That's just so much of what is happening. And so, and in the fitness industry, just think, and then I'm going to leave you with this question. This question that only you know the answer to. And I want you to really allow this to circulate on the rotisserie of your mind if you feel so inclined the next day or so, or a few days. If your members could cancel at the click of a button, how does that change what you do? Or does it? And I'll leave you with that. So folks, I cannot wait until next week. I'm going to continue to talk about some fitness trends. Yes, we looked at adversity today, but we're going to highlight some fitness trends in the industry on a more positive note. I know highlighting particularly some of the first few articles, I felt like Debbie Downer on this episode, but again, I've got to tell you the truth. I got to bring you the truth. Adversity happens to all of us, various fitness industries in various forms and fashions. So we just need to remain committed, resilient, and determined to overcome and to keep on keeping on, folks. So until next week's episode, always remember, I am positively passionate about your fitness and success. Make it a